Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. This is still the Stir Up. My name is MsCosmo. Just before that, gave you Gigi LaMayne hanging out with Questa on Boza on 5FM. And yes, indeed, I do have the biggest boss, Miss Gigi LaMayne in studio.
What it do, Miss Cosmo?
Boza lama boza.
Yeah.
What up? How are you, Miss Gigi LaMayne?
Good. It's been a minute.
I know. It has
Women's
been a
Month.
minute. It has been a minute. And I was trying to get you in studio last week, and then you were being too much of a queen, too much of a boss queen for me.
You know, when it's Women's Month, they remember us. So
Oh, really?
they had us out performing and doing stuff. But yeah,
Yes.
shout out. I'm just grateful to be here today.
Yes, indeed. Obviously, there's a lot to chat about. You've been doing a lot of stuff, which I'm quite excited about. The EP has dropped. You're out and you're independent again. There's international news, which is going to be we're going to be chatting about as well for you. So give us a bit of a rundown. I think the last time you were in the studio was when, I think it must have been like a year ago, maybe
Yo, 2
a year,
years ago,
2
actually.
years back.
2
yes.
years ago. So
So there's plenty to kind of catch up on.
definitely.
Okay, let's get first into you were with Ambitious,
Yes.
and then now having left it, deciding to go independent.
Yes.
Why?
I just think I was ready to develop myself as a young business person. I felt very restrained. Shout out to them though. I think from an A&R perspective,
Yeah.
I've definitely grown. I've been taught so much. I got to work with such amazing talents and such amazing people, and I think it was just time for me to grow. You know, I
Yes.
think I've always been that kid who liked business, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying, and I really wanted to get more invested into it, especially in an industry where that's not really popular talk when it comes to trusting female acts to
Yes.
carry out certain like business stuff.
Yes.
So I think I was just ready to do that. I had gone through a very shaky personal experience, and I think I was just
Yes.
ready to grow from that.
Yes.
So in leaving the stable, there's no bad blood. I learned
Yeah.
a lot. Shout out to the team. They work really hard, and
Yeah.
it's all love when we see each other. We still perform together.
Nice.
But I was just ready to grow.
Nice. With saying that, obviously there's been murmurs, there's been chats here and
Yeah.
there. Obviously, media has also had its fair share with regards
Yeah.
to certain people leaving, them finding it difficult to leave. And obviously that's contract based, that's whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Was your experience with leaving as difficult, or do you think it was just the case of how you had handled it and how you chose to handle it?
I think it's all in the handling of stuff. I think you start the way and you intend to finish in business. I think it's super important that you understand that you're dealing with two brands, two entities that have built themselves up, and I always believe that there are always people who are looking at how you handle such business experiences, and I didn't want to come off as somebody who was bitter or mad about anything, regardless of how I could have been feeling. I just thought it was really important to handle that as professionally as possible, and I'm glad because I'm not in situations where I didn't even have to be settled out of court. We understood what happened. We agreed that it just wasn't gonna work. I'm a very selfish artist, and I still feel like there's so much more I have to do, and thank goodness for that, because I've now got an amazing team.
Yes.
So yeah.
So there's obviously a lot of things that you kind of learn going into an experience like that,
Yeah.
where you've gone from independence to getting signed to then going into another label, and then now going back into independence.
Yeah.
What are those things, those key things that you kind of feel you've taken out of it to say, okay, I'm now a bigger, stronger person for myself, let alone my business, let alone my brand?
Yeah, so shout out to Quest. I think he's been one of the people who's guided me throughout the whole process. And it's ideas around validation, validation even in the professional space, where you feel that you always kind of need a cosign. You always kind of need a put on. And I think they're such great young individuals that we could use as examples, like a Nasty C, like a Shane Eagle, who are able to validate themselves. They have good teams around them who believe in them, and they believe in themselves. And I think for the longest time, I was always looking for validation, whether it was in the industry or whether it was from a record label, and I didn't trust myself. And I think I'm in a space where I can trust myself. I can walk into a boardroom, negotiate something, and feel that I am of substance, not just as an artist, but a young business person growing in an industry that is, quite open if you want to look at it as an industry that's open. If you're going to complain about something, you're going to feel that way.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go out and say, what, either way, even if I didn't get it this time, I'm going to go back and get it the next time, and you do that, Yeah.
Speaking on the validation, so I just want to just touch on this for a little while.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Women's Month. We're always trying to celebrate. We're trying to make women kind of feel better. Last week, I had a topic on the show with regards to how women represent themselves and why it's a necessity for women to look and feel a certain way for the music to get out there, as opposed to how the guys kind of present themselves.
Yeah.
Obviously, you went through a bit of a spiel back and forth with regards to the media, but I want to know for you as Gigi, because I don't think a lot of people actually spoke to you directly to ask you, what are your thoughts on certain things? Do you feel you gained more self-confidence out of changing your look or changing the way you had presented yourself to get your music out?
It's very interesting because just last week we had a very cool podcast, Shaw and myself, and we were talking about that and how it's almost as if you have to, it's trial and error with females. Once again, there's always the template. You can either be Nicki Minaj or you can be the brat. You can never be like an in-betweener, feeling like you want to go out like this and go out like that. And I think it's about us as pioneers just like being unapologetic about, doing that. If you feel like you want to present yourself this way and you're proud of it, then do it. I've always, as I don't know, like mind-blowing, I don't know why everyone feels like this, but Gigi, I've actually really gotten to know I know it's going to be like, so everyone's just like, how are these two even like connected? Uzodwa and
wow. Okay.
And I feel like even in the spirit, it's so important to be unapologetic about what you do, especially when you believe in it. I feel that people follow suit and people are fickle at times. But when you know your truth and you know what you're about, whether you go out in a bikini or you go out in a tracksuit or you go out in a fur coat and you appreciate yourself, chances are that energy is going to come back to you.
Nice. So it is about building self-confidence at the end of the day, which I really enjoy. All right, so we're still hanging out with Gigi LaMayne in studio. If you have any questions for her, hit me up. 082-5505151. That is the WhatsApp line. You can send through a voice note. We will play it out. We'll get Gigi to listen to it and hopefully answer those questions. And if you want to speak to her direct and, let her, chat to you a little bit, 089-110-0505. We will be getting into new music with regards to her new EP. I'm quite excited about that. Stick around. Yes, Gigi LaMayne with MsCosmo here on 5FM. Still hanging out with the lady. She's with me for the next hour or so. We're going to be chatting about her new music, her new EP that she's just dropped, and obviously celebrating everything hot and happening in her life. Over and above the fact that it is Women's Month, and we're trying to shed a light on the ladies and make sure they stay shining here on 5FM. We do have a really awesome voice note coming through for Gigi and asking a very pertinent question as well.
Hi, MsCosmo. Hi, Gigi. It's Nairobi all the way from back home. And I just want to say that Gigi is such an inspiration at such a young age, and she's like running the game totally. And I feel like she's also one of the guys, So my question for her is, how does she do it? How do you do it? How do you stay consistent? How do you stay in the game and relevant after like all these years?
Well, there you go. A really dope question.
Yeah.
Staying consistent is not easy, especially in this game where you always have to be cool.
Yeah, and it's like, it's so weird because I'm actually like one of the youngest in mainstream as a female. So it's great to see that people do see the run. But I think when you just make sure that the passion is always there, like the passion's always there, keep evolving, keep. I think the one thing I gotten wrong starting out my career is that I didn't always surround myself with the right people. And it goes back to validation, goes back to a whole lot of things. But I think when you start finding yourself and you find your truth, it just makes for like a greater journey. You just want to keep going and you want to keep writing your book, no matter how crazy it gets sometimes. I think the joy is in when you finally reach a goal and people didn't believe you would.
Yes.
So I think that's what I live for, that kind of thrill, the naysayers.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It's always the naysayers who kind of make you look at things a little differently and be like, you know what? I'm actually going to show you what I'm worth.
Definitely.
You know what? I'm going to show you who you're actually messing with right now.
Yeah.
One thing I've always loved about your career, let alone your skill, is how you've been unapologetic about how you can word flow. You are one of those people that people can always sit back and be like, yo, but Gigi raps, no matter what people can kind of say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Has that not made you, especially in this climate where there's a lot of like, dummy raps. I
Dub,
mean,
dub,
you know,
dub,
in
dub,
in
dub.
the age of the Migos,
Yeah.
we ad lib for raps.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Does it not make you also want to sit back and be like, maybe I should dumb it down a little bit because maybe it'll be easier to kind of consume?
I think the one thing that's happened with me is that I've become genreless, and I've seen it with a lot of millennials right now. You know, the ideas of like I mean, guys, I had like a song. I have a song right now out with King Monada, and that's crazy, right? Who would have
Yes.
ever thought hip hop would take it this far?
Exactly.
But I just believe that like with the I don't know, like Marvel characters, you can never all have the same kind of superpower.
Yes.
Like you have the lyricist, and then you have the guy who's really good with the flows. Then you have the Migos guy, and and I think it's also growth. It's also growth. We can't all do the same thing. We can't all be lyricists, but whatever we can do, we're absolutely amazing. I mean, some will argue that an MC is a lyricist, you know, but he's so important to the game in terms of what his music offers.
Yeah.
And I just think there's just so much to appreciate. And we have Rouge, who had a song with MC called
Yeah.
Popularize, and she's a lyricist, and he's like so melodic and amazing. And look
Yes.
how that came out. That was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like about vibing with someone who doesn't do what you do, and that makes for the best collaboration. And I wish I realized that earlier on, in my career.
Yes.
And now I'm sitting here like,
Yeah.
snap. I wonder how I'd sound on a song with this person.
Exactly.
And yeah.
I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you. All right. So we're going to get into a bit of a journey with regards to your music. Obviously, we're going to be jumping into your EP as well.
Yeah.
But with who you were when you first kind of came on the scene to Gigi LaMayne now,
Yeah.
do you think there's, what do you think the journey or the change has kind of been from Ice Cream to Job Woods?
I don't care.
Okay.
Literally, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just like something very weird happened to me, and it's literally about the team, myself, the people who I need around me, and I am in a very good space. I enjoy
Yes.
ice cream and chocolates
Yes.
and bicycle rides and just like Ed Sheeran.
Yeah. Wow. But I
yeah.
dig that, because
Yeah.
I think the one thing people always kind of do is they always box when you're in a certain genre where they
Yeah.
say, no, but you're a hip hop artist. You don't like house. You don't like pop. You don't
Yeah,
like
yeah,
gospel. You
yeah.
don't like jazz. And it's like, but guys, music is music.
Exactly.
And hence you have music like, you have a song like Fufa where you can, get into a bit of a gom vibe.
I feel
with King
so bad
Monada.
about that song.
Why?
Because it's bigger than all of my hip hop songs.
Well, in a
What
dance
is it?
country,
Yeah.
certain things like that will kind of happen.
Yeah.
But we are still hanging out with Gigi, still taking your questions on the WhatsApp line. We do have a bit of a throwback for you. Yes, we dug this one out the archives because we loved it so much here on 5FM. Send us a WhatsApp 082 550 5151. Bit of a throwback happening here on 5FM. Ice Cream with Gigi LaMayne. Gigi, do you still perform this one?
Yo, if you don't, they're going to throw bricks
Really?
at you. We still have to, and it's even better when Cooley's at the same lineup. 'cause
Oh,
it's
nice,
like, yo,
nice,
dude, can we
nice.
do this together?
Nice.
And yeah, it's a vibe.
You and Cooley have actually created like this big brother, little sister type of vibe. And
Yeah.
it's one of those things that have been consistent since Dream Team days. I like the fact that you guys kind of support each other on that front. You know what I mean? Are you
Yeah.
still working on new music? Because I know Cooley's back in studio trying to get back in,
Yeah, so I'm actually working on an album. I am working with a few people out in Europe now. And Cooley and I are actually cooking something really dope. Cooley, myself,
Nice.
Malooms, just a few people. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Drops next year. But it's just like about evolving from that. And we were talking about how cool it would be to have like a Gigi and Cooley set.
Nice.
Just like, because he was on, for instance, he was on Baddest and I was on
Yes.
Baddest, and like combining that, combining
that's
ice
so
cream. And then
dope.
if you can get like two more,
Yes.
that would be amazing. But Cooley's my guardian. Hey,
Yes.
Cooley reminds me a lot of Linda Pro. You know, in terms of
Yes.
just like always being the big brother who's there. Like no matter what happens, he's just there. Like, are you
Yes.
okay?
Yes, that's so dope. I like that you always kind of have these big brothers who are always kind of supporting you. It's dope because, people always say like, do the guys really support the ladies the
No,
way
they
that they're
do, guys.
supposed to?
There's
you
a
know?
big brother I'll mention right now who would like Rashid K.
Yes. Yes.
Rashid K is like one of the big brothers, like
Yes.
always there when we need advice. I know now he's actually trying to break in a new female artist. I think her name is Mimi the Major or something, but she's like absolutely amazing.
Nice.
I've been following her work from that. So shout out to Rashid, to Kuli. I know Kuli was also a part of Fifi's, Pride.
Yes.
So there are guys who are like
Yeah.
pushing us, and yeah,
Cool
shout
is
out to
actually
him.
one of the reasons I started DJing. So shout out to him.
Shout out Chana.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna get into some WhatsApp voice notes coming through for Gigi LaMayne. We've got a shout out, one kind of giving us some love.
Hey, I also just want to say Happy Women's Month first, and just tell Gigi that you're such an inspiration, especially from people who are out there doing hip hop as well. I like the fact that you don't look at what went wrong to you. You just keep on pushing the passion. Girl, we love your music, and especially the track that's playing now. This is Monabisi Peter Peterson in Cape Town saying keep doing what you do, girl. You're such an inspiration.
Nice one.
MsCosmo, hi Gigi, I love you. By the way, this is Kev Master from Etubane. I just wanted to ask Gigi LaMayne Oguti, is she ever gonna collaborate with Uruj? Like just her and Rouge, nobody else. By the way, I love your new EP, Job Woods, especially the Holy Liquor track. Oh,
There you go. Your fans are
Wow.
asking.
So I have wanted to for the longest time. I remember reaching out to Rouge about a year or two ago, but I think she was busy with some stuff. So if she is listening, I'd love to do a song with her.
Yes.
I know right now I'm like working on some stuff with Fifi and
Yes.
like a few other female hip hop artists. So I think it'd be amazing to have her in the mix as well. Oh yeah, and
Nice.
shout out to Nadia as well. So it would be cool. And I think a lot of people have wanted that because Rouge is just so amazing. She's a lyricist. She works hard. And I think Rouge is going to be like one of those national treasures.
Yes.
So I would love to do something with her. So if she's listening, like we could totally do something. Like I said, the album is dropping. So
Yes.
I feel like we've got each other on WhatsApp. But when
Yes.
she's ready.
It's all about timing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can ask for something, but when it happens, then you're like, this is why we
This
waited.
is why, right?
You
This
know?
is why. So
Yeah. So shout out to him. He also then mentioned that he loves your EP Job Woods. I do have a few people obviously asking about the EP as well, and I know I had listened to an interview you had done previously where you had just dropped the EP and you mentioned Job Woods is out, but I wanted you to kind of just break it down a little bit. The name of the EP, what the concept is, why you went so hard on it. Give us a bit of a breakdown.
So the name of the I don't even call it an EP because it's too long to be an EP. I just said the project before the album, but
Okay.
I guess everyone who's like the distributors are just you need to call it something. But
Yes.
it's basically about a combination of the book of Job.
Yeah.
In the Bible. Zero to hero moment for him, as well as Tiger Woods. I follow that very closely, and I feel that he was like a very big inspiration when I was going through a lot of like stable / professional personal issues.
Yes.
And just like bounce back. I remember going onto social media and people are like, Gigi's lost it. Gigi's
Yeah.
Gigi's and the truth about a creative is if you're not in a good space, it's very difficult for you
Yes.
to bloom. And I needed to get out of very toxic environments and situations to be able to get my pen game on point. And I'm just glad that everyone knows that I haven't. If anything, I think I've improved a lot.
Yes.
But with the album, it's going to be very, very different.
Yes.
But you will feel the growth. You will feel the
Yes.
growth. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And I think what's dope about music is even as a listener,
Yeah.
you can always sit back and be like, wow, Gigi on ice cream, Gigi on Boza, Gigi on Iskupu, to now we're having
Yeah.
Gigi on Job Woods. It's just like, okay, we're with her, we're on the journey, we're seeing the progression.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing about music is that you can always kind of feel the journey with the musician, which is what we have now with the new EP. So we've got Yo Start, which we're going to play in a moment. This one is featuring Youngster CPT. It's got 25K.
Yes.
We're going to talk about why the song is just so hot. I played it for the first time last week, I think it was, here on the show, and it got so much love.
Wow.
And I do want to dive into how you finesse certain things where you go into Zulu and then English and then Afrikaans and then what and then there's so many things happening, but hey, you guys just need to understand that Gigi is a beast. This one is called Yo Start, featuring Youngster CPT and 25K.
We've
ride with the pigeons.
Hey.
Your boys out for the big time. Like, yo,
Gigi LaMayne hanging out with youngster CPT, 25K on this one. Yo, start on 5FM. This is still the Stir Up, hanging out with her in studio, taking some of your questions, some of your voice notes as well, and some of the love that you're showing for Miss Gigi LaMayne here on 5. Let's hear what you got to say about her music.
What's up, MsCosmo? Hey, Gigi. I'd like to say well done on your latest EP. My favorite song is Your Start with Youngster CPT.
Yes.
It's wonderful. We love you. We support you. And babes. Thanks.
Aw, shout out.
That's such a cute one. Got another one from Durban.
What up, MsCosmo? Skarameni lo bafethu ya ngila imlazi bafethu. Hayi uTichi. Hayi yona thekeni ngincanywayo. Vele yazi leyo thekeni leyo bafethu uthi hayi. Ngiyasiqwala ngayo. Yabo nje mfethu yona thekeni kulamathekeni nje arephayo hayi jonga. uGigi ngihamba naye mfethu. Swimp and EP yakhe idope. Amanzi yabona featuring zakho. Believe it, dope artist man.
There you have it. Your guys are just saying, hey
Wow.
man, you're out here, you're killing it.
Yeah.
You're spreading all the way through to Umlazi, all the way through to the other lady. I think she was in Mafikeng, if I'm not mistaken. It's dope to kind of hear your music kind of spreading all the way through the country.
Right.
We are going to jump into a little bit more on the EP. We're a little bit running out of time. We're going to get to ads, but we're going to come back with Gigi LaMayne here on 5. Still taking some of your WhatsApp, some of your voice notes, 082-550-5151. And of course, if you want to speak to her direct, 089-110-5051. Featuring Fireman on this one, it's called Ukatele. It was the number 1 tune of the local top 5 for last week. We do have a brand new number 1 for this week. We're going to get into the top 5 in a moment, but we're still hanging out with Miss Gigi LaMayne. We got a taste of her brand new EP called Job Woods with a tune called Yo Start here on 5FM. A hard song.
Thank you.
How do you do that? Like, 1 minute Afrikaans, next minute the Zulu's flowing, next minute the English is flowing, but like you're consistent with the skill
Yeah.
in all 3. What other languages do you speak before I get carried away and say you've only got 3?
More like, what other languages do I understand? Because I've always been a linguist, so I love learning languages. Right now, I'm on the Tswana game. So 25 and I have been like, yeah, 25 and I, guys, please don't underestimate me. Next
Yes.
time, Zofika Lana.
Yes.
He's serious.
You're gonna give us a 16 in Tswana.
In Tswana
Yes,
the whole
baby
time.
girl.
But I've just always been like very infatuated by languages.
Nice.
But I mean, when you go out on a song with Youngster, you kind of need to like pull out everything,
Yes.
like every.
Do you know what
single
Youngster does? And I've
superpower.
noticed it. I told him when he came here for an interview, I'm like, Wena usile.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when you come on a feature, you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm
Okay.
bringing all my guns
Yes,
for this one. And then with his own music, he chills it
He's just
out. He has fun. I'm like, usile, Wena.
So for real, that is very, very true. So even with the boys, I made sure everyone. So there was no. I don't even want to lie and say everyone was in studio because we weren't. But it was like, you are representing Cape Town, you're representing Marabastad, you're representing Soweto, and you are like rapping for your life.
Yes.
And that was where the song came from. Who like your start? And you're
Yeah.
just speaking about your city and punchlines here and there, and shout out to 25 as well.
Yes.
Right? He's doing super well. Culture Vultures of smash.
Yes.
And yeah, I wish him all the best. He's such a nice soul, and we're behind him all the way.
1000%. He's
Yeah.
got that raw energy. I
Right?
like what he's coming with.
Yeah.
All right. So the EP's out. We had a voice note with one of your fans saying that he likes the song Amanzi with Zagwe. There was another one who also mentioned as well their favorite on the album.
Yeah.
Which one do you think is your favorite? And of all the collaborations, which was the hardest to kind of get together?
The hardest, it's the worst.
It's the worst.
There's a shy time to shoot the video, and I'm just landing. And then you had to get like somebody there to cut his hair, like. But
you
he
have
showed
to
up.
you have to speak to like 10 people
Yeah, to like
to
10
make
people.
sure he arrives.
Yeah, so I think he was the most, like intense, but it was worth it. He was on my wish list, like
Yes.
for MCs, rappers, musicians in South Africa. The song I had the most fun with was Full Clip, obviously because it was very nostalgic.
Yes.
Some of the guys came out during that time. I was a young girl, and that's kind of like also where like my artistry got traction. My favorite song has to be Goze Kube Nini, so it addresses just like femicide and and child abuse, and I think people. Oh yeah, and Winnie. Winnie is very important for me because Winnie speaks on how strong women are.
Yes.
So those are my two favorites, and there's something really special coming with Goze Gubenini that we're shooting. And shout out to Eminent Fam. I absolutely love them, and you should do a song with them actually.
Yes, I know
should
you
definitely do a
always
song
do
with them.
some really dope stuff with Eminent Fam.
Yeah.
I think we have a caller on the line. Hey, what's up? You're on 5.
Hey, hello.
Hi, my brother. Please turn off your radio.
Sorry.
All right, say, who am I
hey.
speaking to? Where are you calling from?
You are speaking to Tinashe, Gigi's cousin.
Oh my goodness!
Hey, Gigi.
This is like I don't know, like he's the inspiration in our family.
Yes.
So he is the one who graduated First Vibes.
Oh,
like
okay.
he set the bar.
Yes.
He is currently a chartered accountant. So
Yes.
he's like that cousin.
Oh, that's why I know airtime because he's got his chartered account. Airtime your phone.
Yeah,
Oh my
no,
goodness!
man.
I can't believe he called.
Yo, girl, I should have sent you a voice note because I couldn't get my voice note through. I was going to be like, push this thing through. Okay, get that through onto the radio. No, girl, we love you. You actually have representing all of us. I couldn't understand anything you're saying in Afrikaans.
Oh, wow.
So I think
Exactly.
that's the
So shout out to my family in Zim as well. I've got a very big family in Zim. So
Yes.
Uma, we've got family in Zim.
Yes.
I've got family in Botswana now. I've got family in
Nice.
Namibia. So it's just like an African takeover. Shout out to you,
Yes.
Tinashe. Thank you so much for calling, bro.
Nah, man, we love you. Go, keep doing
love
it,
you so
baby.
much.
Keep doing it.
Thank
All right.
you.
Big ups. What an awesome phone call. I'm so glad he came through, man. There's definitely so much love. There's always people who are supporting you, which is really awesome. And I like the fact that your fan base always stays true to who they are because they're
Right?
Gigi fans.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But the Gigi fans are also asking for a young 16.
A young
Because that's what you're about.
All right.
And we're going to get into it in a moment. I hope you are ready. But we are going to take a short break before we come back with the brand new entry onto the local top 5 for this week. Big Zulu, when he was actually in studio, gave us a fire freestyle. So we have the lady Gigi LaMayne in studio.
You're so much pressure. Wow.
Big Zulu came with all of the bars. And we're hoping Gigi's going to
Guys, what's this
top
buzzer
all of the
doing
bars.
You
She's
are
gonna-
so wrong.
she's gonna
one of
come
the-
through.
Those aunts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm one of those aunts people like, hey, nomntana
Ingane
miyeza."
uyajayiva,
Yeah.
kodwa
Owami,
ingane yami.
owami. Uzobabonisa manje. Jive wena babes.
Okay, so this is taken off Job Woods.
Yes.
The song is titled Winnie. I did say it was like one of my favorites.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is just like dedicated also to special ladies and to the gents. And I just feel Mom Winnie is such an underrated hero when it comes to African history.
Yes.
All right.
Let's go. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
On your knees like a priest, yeah, you getting ready to genuflect. Keep recalling on past and moves prior to Genesis. Marching hundreds like centipedes, GDP like the Lebanese. Winter's coming, they bigger, trading, spectating like Pharisees. What a time to be patient and what a time to succumb. Won our freedom, our money. We heard the gun, so we run. Even deeper unlearned, so our history yearns. You teach your children to hate, you lit the fire, so burn. My people, they screaming, you need to free us alive. And yo, we hungry for victory, rather fight till we die. Let's ambulu Mama Sugu, Mama Winnie, that's it. So many women inventing, they lit the Mashia spliff. They got amnesia and ish. We carry children in ish. They won't admit we should be naming martyrs heroes in ish. Instead, they put us at each other, Twitter beefing in ish. I'm here for unity, sis. Oprah, I'm handing out this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it there. So there were no bars. It's just like a really cool message.
What do you mean? There were
Happy
definitely
Women's
bars
Month, guys.
there. There were definitely bars there. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't be flowing if there weren't any bars.
bars.
Yeah. So
Thank
big
you
ups.
so much.
That is the beautiful Miss Gigi LaMayne. Thank goodness you came through this week because I've been begging and pleading and begging and sending.
Not true.
Yeah,
Don't
you're
do
too cool for me now. Because you're a superstar.
Why? Can I just say a huge shout out to MsCosmo? MsCosmo basically broke my debut single right here at 5FM. You're such an inspiration to women. We never get to tell you, right? We never get to tell you, but you've put so many of us on.
Yes.
And we hope to be giving you one of those like really cool lifetime achievement
Oh,
things
please.
in hundreds of
That
years
only
to
happens
come.
when you're like old.
Yes,
and it's like,
but the
okay,
fact
well,
is-
you can't win anything else, so we'll give you
Oh
this.
wow. But the fact is you're doing something that many haven't, and thank you for almost being like this godmother when it's come to female DJs in hip hop. We
Yes.
don't tell you all the time, but we appreciate you so much because we know you often fight for the female voice when we're
Yes.
not there.
Always.
So shout out to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Gigi. So good to see you in such good spirits as well.
Yay.
I didn't want to touch on your situations earlier on in the year and such because I know you're in a happier place and that's what
Definitely.
we want to support. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So,
Thank you so
I
much.
like that you are in a better place and we want to see you shining. We want to see you
Thank
glowing.
you
We want to
so
see
much.
you doing big things with this new EP and we're waiting for the album.
It's gonna be too much.
Uh-huh.
It's gonna be too
And
much.
of course, when you come through with the album, we're going to have a live performance here on the Stirp and we're going to
Please.
blow it up. We're going to make it nice and hot.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, there you have it. Thank you so much, Gigi LaMayne, for joining us in studio. Really enjoyed that that interview with her. We do have another interview that's lined up for the next hour here on 5. I don't typically do this, but you know, when the internationals come into town, you got to do what the things and do the things that you need to do. But we're going to get into that in a moment. We still have number 3 and number 2 to check out of the local top 5.
5 FM weekday, I be with the click,